Hey folks, and welcome to another Factorio Mod Spotlight. I'm Exterminator, and thank you for joining me for this one. In this Spotlight, we're going to be covering the Smart Inserters mod. Now, this is very similar to the Bob's Adjustable Inserters mod. If you don't know what that is, it allows you to very finely tune how your inserters pick up and drop off items, and we'll go into the details of that in a second, of course. But I do want to mention that there may be some questions like why use this if there's Bob's adjustable inserters. The entire reason the dev for this made this mod is to make this one open sourced, whereas the Bob's version is closed source, and that basically just means like if Bob ever just disappeared or stopped developing, no one would have access to it. But with this being open source, people could take this and keep it updated and stuff. And then also there was like a bug they wanted to adjust or fix or something. But this is a standalone mod too, so you can just install it on its own, or you can migrate from Bob's to this mod too, which is really nice. And we'll go into how this works. So really quick, there is some settings, but I just want to show you, like, basically it'll add to all your inserters this grid where you can, just like I said, very finely tune how you want your inserters to work. And then you have these offsets as well, which is actually, I think, my favorite feature of this. But let's really quickly look at the settings here, just to run through them. I left them all default, just so you guys can see what the default is. Now, I can't change these on the fly since they are startup setting. But you have max inserter range, which is default 3. It can go 1 to 5, and this is basically like how far out you can have the inserter reach. Even at 3, I think it's kind of crazy. I would personally maybe make this like a 2 or something. Same range for all inserters, pretty self-explanatory. Offset selector, this is on by default. That gives you that option I showed you. Chase items on belt. This is on by default, which basically just makes it act like vanilla. You could turn it off. It says it's suggested to have it on. Range technologies. Now these are off by default, but if you want to make this a little less cheaty and more progression added to it, you could turn these on, which basically just means it locks the extra range and the diagonal abilities to techs. Which I think would be good if I were playing with this. I would probably turn these on. Disable long inserters. So this does, with this turned on, which is default, this gets rid of long inserters since you don't really need them with this. And then directional slim inserter. I think the slim inserter might be like a Bob's mod thing or something, or another mod, unless it's just referring to a position, because there's not any new inserters added with this. There's no slim inserter added that I'm aware of, so not 100% sure on these, but those are the only options. So let's take a look here. Let me actually just search really quick. Yeah, there's no slim inserters in here. So I've just set, set up a few examples. Any inserter you go into, it can be a long hand, or not a long hand, a fast or stack or normal or whatever. You can adjust how they pick up, drop off, where they reach. So a few examples. Now, I was messing with the offset, and I wasn't quite sure what it did initially, but like I said, it's actually one of my favorite things. So if we go into here, by default, this is in the middle, I believe. But you can, so the red is the drop off, and then the green is the pickup. Pickup probably would want to leave default, but you could actually use this to kind of balance your belts, which is really nice. But the drop off, it basically forces the inserter which side of the belt to drop off on. So for those of you that don't know, an inserter in vanilla will always drop off items on the far side of the belt from it, always. And it prefers to pick up from the close side of the belt it's picking up from. It's not a hard rule, like it has the option to pick up from the far side, but it will always prefer the close side. And then, but the drop off is a hard rule. It will only drop off on the far side of the belt. But you can change that. So if I do this actually makes it drop off on the close side. And then this one I've just put over here. I feel like the middle and over here is like the same thing. But if I put these inserters in, or these circuits, you'll notice this goes on the far side, and then this one goes on the close side. Now, I don't really know what will happen. We can check, and this one's going crazy over here. You can already see what happens here. This just puts it on the close side, which is, I don't believe, default behavior in vanilla, so I'm not quite sure on that. It's a little weird. But you can do like diagonals and stuff too if you want. This, I think, would just be more useful for like machine-to-machine configurations. And then this one is already kind of adjusted, and you can see it's like reaching way over here. So if we had an assembler like over here, and technically this would actually reach, this could grab from here and stick it way over there and stuff. So Again, the red is the drop off. This is the pickup. Another example would be like this one. If we go ahead and say move this to like out here, this is actually, so this switched it, this dropped it off. If we do this and then put this over here, so it's a little tedious adjusting where things go, but basically what this is doing now is this means that this inserter could grab from a belt over here, or if you want to go really crazy, you could actually have it go, so you kind of have to like adjust. So it like always seems to move the drop off. So then if you click this again, it'll switch it. So you have to kind of just adjust, unless the right click. Oh, right click does it. Okay. Duh, we're finding out together. I didn't even consider they would add another one. So doing this, if you want to do this, that means this could actually grab from this belt, right? And that's, well, yeah, that was full. So it could actually grab from this belt if you want it to. And again, that's with the size 3 for the reach. If you went to 5, it'd be pretty crazy, but you could do that. And I'm not going to show you like every configuration. It is pretty self-explanatory. So right click moves the pickup, left click moves the drop off. That makes more sense. I don't know where my brain's at, but you can just kind of move it wherever you want and do some really crazy things. So like this guy could grab blue circuits from here and then stick them on a belt over here, which again, maybe a little cheaty, but you can lock that behind tech as well, so that kind of helps a bit. And, you know, it just allows for some really cool, unique builds and stuff. But that's pretty much the mod, guys. Just interesting way to use inserters in such, allows you a little more options than what the vanilla provides you. I maybe would like them to cost a little more to build. That would be my personal, only personal little gripe with it. But overall, I think it's pretty neat. If you have any questions or thoughts, definitely leave them below. There is a link, as always, in the description to the video where you can check out the mod portal page for this. And the dev seems fairly active and stuff, so if there's any issues you run into, they should be able to work that out. But if you did enjoy, a like is appreciated as well. And if you're new, welcome, and feel free to sub to keep up with future content, like the Friday Facts discussion coming out tomorrow on Friday. I'm super excited to see what they cover in tomorrow's Friday Facts. But until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.